Hey YouTube, this is Fleur Bruin coming to you today to discuss new topics of discussion. Well, actually, I'm just updating you. I know you guys have been contacting me like crazy. So much information has been out there, and I didn't want to make a video until probably right before the 28th, just to kind of see. I want to come to you with a lot of substance, and there's so much to talk about. So I have to big up some of the subscribers that have been keeping me just keeping me in the know of certain information that I normally wouldn't, research personally, because I'm going on to other, I go into other burrows of the rabbit hole and find my own niches of interest, and I go on that path. But it's fantastic. Helsing, who's one of my subscribers, who is sick with the information, just fantastic. So big up to you. A lot of the new subscribers have some great information, and I really appreciate it, because again, we're all sharing bits of information with each other, and I never want to come to you as if I'm the holy know-all and thou. No, I've just been in this world a long time, and I kiki with a lot of people who are very similar to us. And because of that, the shares are phenomenal, and I've just learned a plethora of information based on my liaisons with a lot of my own conscious people, and also, researching, reading, lectures, and all that good stuff. And this is over years, Remember, I'm a woman of a certain age, so I've been in this world for a while. Anyway, so I want to kick off the first beginning of what occurred. I believe it was at the end of August, which we all saw, was Kali, the goddess Kali, showing up on the Empire State Building, which is very interesting, because remember, Cern has been a big topic of discussion for a while now. And as you know, Kali is also known to be in another, there's always goddesses that show up as different. They're the same goddess, but they show up, they're called different things at different times in history. So Kali can also be known as the goddess Shiva. Also, Kali can also be known as Isis. And her thing is leveling the playing field. A lot of people called her the Black Goddess. Yes, she is an Afrocentric, or a very ancient Indian. Ancient Indians were very black, very dark, the original indigenous Indians from India. She represents the leveling of the playing field. She is the goddess that resets the clock. They call her destroyer. No, she levels. She is one who balances the wrongs and makes everything right. If you've done dirt, she's going to serve you, basically. And she brings in the new paradigm by cleaning up the old shop. I call it the cleaner. She cleans out the old so that we can start over with the new. So when they showed her on the Empire State Building, they're basically telling, I told you, this is the great reveal. Nothing, and a lot of you have broke the code. And I know I'm rambling on. I had coffee a little earlier, and I'm trying to make this video quick because so much to do. But again, she showed up on the Empire State Building, and again, they have to tell you what it is they're intending on doing. Whether you are conscious of it or not is totally up to you. But her being shown visually on a building in the middle of Manhattan is to let you know that this is the energy coming in, Kali, the goddess Kali, and she's coming to clean up shop, and she's coming to level the playing field. And again, we talked about the old paradigm that is fading away, and that is a system of it's a patriarchal system, and it is also a white supremacist system. And when I state that they no longer have home court advantage, I'm not saying that the indigenous people are going to be the bomb, or black people are going to rule. What it is that every society, every racial group has been in power at one time for a long period of time to experience the spiritual advantageousness of being in a position of power, to see how they treat people who are perhaps, whatever the ideology is of the time, are lower than them. And at the time, we were going through this is the tail end of white supremacist system. Actually, we're out of it, and we're going into a new system. We're resetting the clock back to the time where the indigenous, actually the Negroids, were in rulership. So we go through different levels of experiences for spiritual learning. So I never say that anyone should be better, or anyone's higher or better, or than anyone else. I just say that it's the end, thank goodness. And me being a woman of color, it's advantageous for me to be happy and relieved seeing all the heinousness that's happened on the planet at the hands of people that may not look as reminiscent of me. And that's not everyone, obviously, because, you know, there's black devils. I don't want to say that. And there's white devils and there's Asian devils. People always have, there's a negative and positive to every culture, every people, every race, every religion, everything. So I just talk about that. So Callie's bringing in the new. Sorry. And a lot of men are maybe feeling it. Like you're feeling, like I've noticed a lot of conscious men making videos lately have been really just showing themselves, and they're feeling a little insecure with their power structure being out of home court advantage. And you can hear it in the verbiage that they use. They'll call women whores who are engaging in, hypersexual relationships with many partners, as males have done in their paradigm. So, you know, you're seeing the males feeling the energies of divine femininity coming in because their system is going out, and it should all be balanced. If you're a balanced male, it shouldn't matter. You know, women coming into their power is just, it just is helpful to the families and people. So, anyway, I went on a tangent. So you got Callie coming in on the building. That was bugged out. You should see that video. I'm going to try to add it to the bottom here so you guys can see it if you didn't get a chance to see Callie showing her beautiful form, her transformation. And, you know, she sticks out her tongue and there's blood on it. And usually you'll see pictures of Callie, and she has tons of heads of all that she's slain, of all the people who have done wrong. So think of it as you much. You can do research on Callie. I took it as a good sign that it is, a leveling of the playing field, and we're going out of a system. So we have Callie going in, and again, I connect Callie to Cern because Cern in Europe, by their facility, they actually have the goddess Shiva right in a like a monument right on their premises. And I think it's kind of interesting that Cern is a big concern right now, being that they have that goddess as a representation on their site. So, I mean, you can check that out too. And again, I'll try to put all the links below. I try to give you as much as possible because some of this stuff is just, it's so much. I want to be able to give you links so that you can follow your own lead and research yourself. Okay, so we have Cern coming in, and Cern should be a concern. Again, it's some sort of collider. It really was to, the reason why it was created is to find the God particle, how things began, where the Big Bang came from. They're trying to recreate that in a machine. And it's huge. It works with magnetic energy. It's been on since, I believe, since 2011. But they're cranking it up totally, I believe, September the 25th or 6th, in that range, in that later part of September, it's going to be fully cranked up. And I personally, with the research that I've gotten, we were trying to figure out what it is. They're saying the God power. I never, like you know with me, I listen to what they say with their statement, with their with their PRing, but I really want to see what it is that I'm seeing in relation to what they're saying, to see if it, if I could follow the lead based on what they're saying. A lot of times it's, smoke and mirrors. They say one thing and it's actually in the opposition of what they mean. So what I'm finding is that Cern is an identifier. What it's doing when it's on, it's finding all the stargates and the vortexes on the planet. What we're noting is that when this machine is on, it is locating all these open points, these points where I guess there's a ripple in our atmosphere to another dimension, vortexes, what do you call them, stargates, whatever you would call those. It's locating them along the planet. And when it finds it, I'm assuming they're trying to find all the locations because either they're trying to bring something in or they're trying to stop something from coming in. And they want to know those locations of all the openings, the ripples in our world, on our planet, on our surface. And I believe it's a locator of those. Whether they're going to bring something through, I can't tell you at this point. we're going to see in a couple weeks what's going on. And also, which Helsing, which is one of my subscribers, kind of denoted in some of the videos they FYI'd me with, is that a lot of people's, we talked about this, a lot of people's abilities are surfacing. And this might be a way to exasperate the already rising of people's, or the opening of people's abilities, or the you know, kind of activating more people than not. I don't know why they would do that, but it looks like it might be connected to that too. I don't want to talk too much on that because I really want to do more research on that, but it might have some effect on your abilities. I think if they're going to utilize it, it may exasperate your abilities more to show up, so that maybe they can round up, like in Heroes, round up all the people whose abilities, because your abilities are coming. And I don't want to really talk about that too much publicly, and nor do I want you to below really state that aloud if you're having abilities manifest, because I don't want you to be targeted. At this point, I think that would be a concern. So if any of your abilities, whether it's telepathy, telekinesis is part of that. We have other people who have other interesting abilities, invisibility. I mean, these are real abilities that are manifesting in people. Again, if you want to discuss it, I am taking notes on who's, if you'd like to share that, share it to my inbox, to my email. Not to say that the government can't see all that, but I don't want it on a public format where you might be more in danger, because I do have different types of people who come to my videos, and not everybody's here for the information. Some people are just here to get it and utilize it for whatever way, and sometimes it's negative. I don't want to say it is always that way, but I don't want to put you in danger. So if you want to talk about something, because friends, remember I started my fast and I had to alter my fast. That's why I haven't made videos on my fasting, because I'm a big faster. And I was kicking off a 40-day fast, and I was having like weird symptoms. I mean, heart palpitations and just weird sleeping patterns, and out of body experience, just weird kind of things that were coming all together, kind of flipped me out. So I had to alter my fast and change it to a detox really quickly, because I didn't know what was going on. And I've gotten a workup and everything and got checked out, and I was fine, but it had to do with what's going on in the planet, and probably something that's occurring in everyone right now, some sort of upgrade, molecular upgrade. And I experienced it, and it lasted for 3 weeks. Yeah, it was pretty freaky. And anyway, we can talk on another format with that. I don't want to really go into that. So anyway, so we talk about Cern. Cern is kicking it up to full blast at the end of September, which is going to be in a couple weeks. So we get to see what's occurring. And again, I believe it's a locator for stargates or for vortexes on our planet, so that they may either open up a gate or, again, stop entities from entering our plane. I'm not quite sure yet, and we'll get into that later. So we have that. You have, and Cern may be affecting the animals too, because it is working with the magnetic field. And a lot of, I think it was crazy amount of antelopes died, which is odd. Antelopes have a wonderful immune system. They're actually very resilient of all the animals. I'm into animals, and I've gotten, I'm pretty stringent about studying each animal, especially as a young girl. I loved watching, National Geographics, and I travel quite a bit. And I know antelope to be one of the most sturdy animals, and tons of them died just out of the blue, just all dead. And then we have fish hopping out of the water to their death. Where is that? I believe, was that Mexico? Don't quote me on that. It was somewhere recently this week where fish were just hopping out of the water. Something's going on. But I think that might be something different. I might think they're doing something, the military is doing something with sonic waves underneath the water, agitating the water life, the whales, the dolphins, the sharks, and everything. The sharks are coming closer, more inshore, in places like Florida, which is odd. They normally don't come that close to shore unless they're feeding, the migration of the fish have changed, and they have no food. So sometimes they'll come inshore, but they were coming inshore to the point where they were beaching themselves. And that's a sign that there's been some sort of sonic waves on the water. And again, that could be government things going on with the Navy working under the water, and the sonic waves can agitate them or make them feel like they're going to die, and they end up harming themselves and going beach. So we have animals dying, which has happened since 2011, which we noted with the first of the blackbirds that died in Arkansas on January 1st. That was first. And every year around that same time, birds die on January 1st. So there's something going on planetary too. So we have that going on. And you heard about Israel, right? I know you guys heard, right? So we have another thing that's occurring. And so it's so much, I know I'm throwing this all at you. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get it out because it's beautiful. Some of it is really beautiful to see monumental events occurring before us. And as you know, I've always spoken about Israel and how some of the people there are being mistreated. Some of the actually Sephardic Jews that have relocated there, some of them are the Ethiopian Jews, and they were heinously treated by the Ashkenazi Jews that were residing in Israel. And, as you know, Ashkenazi Jews are more European, and obviously the Ethiopian Jews of African descent. And the Sephardic Jews are the indigenous Jewish people. Those are people that if you speak of the Hebrews, they are the originals, whereas Ashkenazi Jews are Eastern European Jews, and they're converts. They weren't Jewish, and they're not indigenously from that part of the world ever, even though that would be a discrepancy. Anyway, the United Nations has decided they don't feel it's a necessity for Israel to even be a state. Interesting. And the United Nations has also decided to raise the Palestinian flag, which Palestine is not a state. And I find it really interesting that, like I've told you, that because okay, I'm sorry everybody, I had to splice and dice the video. I think I ended on Israel. Why it's such a big deal is because there's a fourth blood moon coming into this phase. And as we've related that in history, when it comes to the blood moons, they generally have ended on Jewish holidays. And they've also remarked, especially the fourth blood moon remarks, something monumental happening in Israel that has happened, I think, over the last couple of blood moons that have occurred in history. So it's kind of on time. It's interesting that right now Israel is being questioned about the validity of their statehood. And you know how I feel about that. I just feel like, right now everything is being leveled, and right and wrong is being right. And I believe that what's occurring now with Israel is that that land was not ever to be presented to a foreign people. I always believe that everyone deserves to be safe. And I do agree with, if people are being heinously murdered and killed, absolutely, we should have an exodus for them to leave whatever region they're residing in and have safe haven somewhere else. That I totally agree with. But for people that were supposedly put in harm's way in Germany to go into Israel, and land taken from a native people there, the Palestinians are already residing there, and to be given to another group, and then that group not even being grateful enough to stay there and be good to their neighbors, they have been murdering many Palestinians, and of course Israelis have died as well, but not to the level and to the number of the Palestinian people that have always resided there. And again, you know how I feel about how the Ethiopians are being treated, just heinously. And that's the white supremacy. So everything's passing away. So this is good. This is good. And I believe everybody has the right to live there cohesively and safely. And I think if you can live there as any kind of Jew, a Sephardic Jew, a Ashkenazi Jew, cohesively, friendly, and in peace, by all means, you should be able to reside there. But I think if you're not peaceful, you should be kicked out. I think that should be a safe place for people to reside. And if you've seen some of the videos of some of the heinousness of some of the Ashkenazi Jews have done to the Ethiopian Jews, it would make you think like just negative thoughts. And I don't really want to get into that because I'm not really taking sides. I'm the side of balance. I think fairness to everyone. I think everyone has a right to live a cohesive, healthy life. Anyway, so got Israel. showing up in the realm of things occurring in the world. And remember, the Pope is coming here soon, in less than a week. And no, a week, I think a little over a week. And he will be stopping in Philly, and also he'll be having a meeting with the President Obama. That's suspect. Why? Is because he's coming at such a monumental time. We have the blood moon coming right after his visit. I'm going to make a call on that. You know, all this September to remember, there's something there's going to be a major announcement. I feel like this Pope coming, he's going to make some sort of major announcement. There's been a UNICEF commercial that has come out with an ET in it. Like, you know, it's a I'm going to put that below. Now, my homeboy Helsing had given me some information based on UNICEF making this PR video about accepting people of differences into their organization and allowing children that are disadvantaged to come into the system and be supported. But they have an alien child come in. And, you know, UNICEF and, you know, Christian organizations work side by side. They're very close in hand. One supports the other. And I thought that very odd that at this time of such obscurity going on in our environment, that we have a UNICEF commercial coming in here, a PR commercial. And you know how Christians feel about ETs and aliens. I mean, they don't even believe in all that. Why would they have an alien child, a green reptilian looking child, a hybrid looking child in this PR video about acclimating to differences and accepting children of disadvantages? That's crazy to me. So I'm gonna add that to the box to the box below, so you guys can see that too. Big up to my subscriber who sent that information to me. That's crazy. I just think this is all relative right now. Everything, the animals dying, Cern kicking up, Cali being shown on the Empire State Building, the Pope coming in, Obama gonna make an announcement with the Pope. I think there's something side by side, and again, I think the Pope is gonna make a big announcement if I had to call it. You know, a lot of the Christian base thinks that there's something big coming, like a meteor and stuff. I don't think so. I think this blood moon is going to bring around a shift, and I think it's more of a spiritual shift, like just to allow people to grow and to allow a certain more balanced state of being, state of consciousness. I really, you know, if a comet comes or anything like that, so be it. You know, I say rock it out like a rock star. You know how I am. Dance it out. For me, that was to ever occur. I just enjoy. I think you should live your life and enjoy every day like it's the last. I make it a note to enjoy my life. Even though I'm in this world, you know, I take it seriously, but I think it's just a part of our world. I think some of you may not have even known this world existed, and I think it could be a little harder when you do know that alternate realities exist, alternate universes exist, alternate beings exist, and they're all with us, simultaneously existing simultaneously with us. So that's kind of cool to know that that exists, and now you know how to engage in the world, knowing that there's so many variances in there. But anyway, so the fourth blood moon is coming on the 28th, right before the Pope. And then, you know, Farrakhan is having the Million Man March after all this on 10/10. And again, you know, I think him bringing people of color together, especially the males, I think females should be included. And I think that will have to be on that platform. Farrakhan makes it very known that he is not for the violence against people of color, especially people of color. They have Black Lives Matter, and they do. And I think for a long time they have not. And I think for people to state that they have a problem with Black Lives Matter, saying that all lives matter, every life matters, but the only reason Black Lives Matter as Black Lives Matter as a platform is because of the heinousness and disgusting behavior of some against Indigenous people that has been just been going on rampant, especially right now visually for us. And I think that's why there's a platform like that. I think to even state that all lives matter is ridiculous. Obviously so. But when, when others, children are being slayed in the street, and there's no justice for that, then that could be all lives matter. But right now, Black males and women are being killed heinously with no repercussion and no, acknowledgement of justice. So that's what that organization has been started for. And Farrakhan has taken it upon himself to have a meeting of the men and masses to discuss this and to make it a point that this needs to be addressed, and not with more, I feel marching on all that stuff. I'm not in agreement with it. You've never seen, war has never happened happy and cohesive singing Kumbaya. Justice to me is not something you ask for. It's what you deserve and what you grab and what you take. And again, you don't beg for freedom, you take it. So however that means, I think if everybody's for freedom and everybody's for balance in society, we're good. If you're not, and you're okay with certain people being treated heinously, and you're okay to sit and drink and eat your Frosted Flakes while others are being killed or their children being killed, and that's okay with you to see that and know that, and have no empathy towards that, then, your life might shift dramatically based on the imbalance of somebody else's life being so dramatically different and heinous. So get it together, people. It's all about fairness and balance. So I'm sorry I made this video all over the place, but I want you to make some comments. There's a lot going on. Please share with each other. We're going to watch. In 2 weeks, we're going to see the next blood moon and see what that brings about. And I say, why even bring fear? Bring love and unity. And that's what the planet needs. We have enough fear and hate for a couple lifetimes. Why don't we just, instead of being sitting here and watching the video sometimes, maybe allow yourself to take in this information and say, you know what, I could be a kinder, better person, and maybe talk to your neighbor that you never talk to, and say good morning to somebody who looks totally different than you that you would never even speak to, or maybe extend yourself to helping the homeless or the animal shelters, and maybe taking a day off and showing your children how to be a person, of a human person, and to be helpful in your own society. I mean, be the change you want to see in the world. I think only reason we're seeing a lot of madness in the world is because we have a lot of narcissism and heinousness has existed and has hit a level of, has been overboard, and it's starting to show up in the environment in a crazy way. So all the craziness inside of all of us is manifesting in the masses. And I think you can change that. Be the change you want to see in the world. And like I say to all my subscribers, I said, I accept love, peace. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're white, black, green, in between. I love you all. If you're a good person and you do right by people and you're not hurting another person and you're not being heinous in your behavior and you're living with integrity, I'm all for you. I'm all supportive. But again, our environment is just reminiscent of what's going on, the turmoil going on in many of us, and the denial that certain people have been in. And you can only be in denial for so long. So it's showing up. So again, let's watch out for Cern. Like I say, just, be mindful, observe what's going on, and watch the people around you, because madness does not have boundaries. So, be vigilant with your information. And again, for all those who are having an upgrade and this is another thing. Excuse me, I'm gonna throw this at the end of the video. Another thing that I think may happen was why all these hero shows are coming out, 4,400, all these shows showing all these abilities coming in. I think some people, and you know how I think it's linked to certain people whose genetics was suppressed, are having upgrades or a veil lifted off of their abilities that they had in ancient days, flight, whatever the heroes had, being able to, cause fires kinetically, telepathy kicking up, invisibility, all these amazing abilities that our ancient ancestors had innately. This is what I know to be. They may manifest on right after the blood moon. Oh, that's my alarm. It's time for me to go. I don't want to go too much into that. So don't be shocked if you wake up one morning and you're levitating off your bed. Or you've transported into another realm or another person's house, and you find yourself waking up in somebody else's house and like, how did I get here? I'm serious when I say this. I don't want, I'm going to try not to say too much, but there might be an exasperation of your abilities, just like a release of your native abilities. And every ability is unique to each individual, like in the movies. So what my abilities would very much be very different than yours. I want you to be mindful that this could be a plausibility for some of you. And if that is the case, the others, the ones who are ruling this world, know that that's about to occur, and they will do everything they can to either suppress it or make sure you can't manifest it. So if that happens, please don't state this publicly. As you know, I don't believe certain things I think you have to keep under wraps until our world matches the consciousness or the revelation of who you really are. So keep that to yourself. If you want to share it with me, that's great. Inbox me privately, not on this platform. But I think some of you may wake up with amazing abilities that are released in you after the blood moon. I think the blood moon may activate something within some people. And I'll probably make a video on that after the blood moon, but I won't do it now. Anyway, I'm sorry. I know I made a rush video, and I just wanted to say that I'm sorry I haven't made a couple videos since then. A lot of magnificent things have been occurring in the ET world, and I'll get into that in a couple videos. There is another group of ETs that are here. The blue avians are here right now, and it's interesting. Again, I'm going to make more videos based on this. I'm not going to do it until after all the supposed climate chaos and all that stuff. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'll make the videos after the blood moon, okay? So we'll get into the blue avians coming to our world. They're also balancers and watchers, okay? We'll get into some of the other ETs that are showing up here at this point. We'll get into some of the paranormal experiences some of you are having based on your contact with some of these other beings. Many of you that come to my platform are very, very special. And I'm not just saying that because it's my platform, but it's true. A lot of us are just attracted to things, likenesses in others based on ourselves. And I'm having a lot of occurrences, and I'll share some of them with you. I've got some cool pictures that I'll share with you. But anyway, I want to wish you well. And again, I apologize for making such a weird, long-winded, video, but I kind of want to touch on everything. And I know you guys will go in down below amongst each other and talk. And, I try to get back to all of you. And, I've been trying. And for all of you who want me to Skype, it's so difficult. I mean, I want to talk to all of you all the time. But, again, I have a limited amount of time right now. Remember, I'm in this world. We call it, Mr. Corey calls it, it's like a Harry Potter's world. And in my world, there's a lot going on. It's very rare that I have the extra time to just chill out and talk on Skype, even though I want to. So if I do, I'll kick it off with you. You guys inbox me. I've got a lot of your Skype information, and I'll intend to do it with a few. And again, remember, when you talk to me, this is my platform. There's no conversation about money or monetary things on this site. This is just a share. I'm sharing as another student, sharing with you guys as you share with me. You never think that to talk to me, you have to pay anything. I don't agree with that. I'm as free as my time. Okay. So, don't worry about that. I'll try to get back to each one of you, and just be mindful and just take care of yourselves and take care of your health, take care of your spirit, and start meditating. Oh, and yes, I wanted to talk about the tall, white alien guy, the German guy, who's actually on YouTube now, and he's releasing a whole bunch of information. I want you to be mindful of that entity, but I'm going to get into that after the blood moon. So we've got a lot to talk about. I just want to throw it out there, some of the information that's coming out now. just be mindful, okay? And I will say to you, previous to our September to remember, happy blood moon, fourth blood moon coming in, and hopefully we'll have another conversation after. But I love you, and I love you even if you don't love me. But just be appropriate and be nice. And for all those nasty people who utilize some nasty language and say some really heinous things, again, I'm sorry, but you know, there's entity. Remember, I'm a contactee and I come with a lot. So if anyone comes to you in the astral planes that's not very nice, maybe you should be mindful of coming to my platform and saying anything out loud that's negative or attacking to my subscribers, because I'm protective of them as well as myself. So remember, if you come at me, you best be prepared. Anyway, peace out. Love you. Fleur Brun.